Hey, Diane DeWald with CreativeCatCrafts.com. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to make this card here with one of the Gina K incentive stamps, which is current in her store. If you purchase $75 or more, you get to pick one of 3 incentives. And this little guy was one of them. And I just had so much fun creating with it. When I first saw it as an item, I thought, oh no, that's just not me and what I like to create. Oh, how wrong I was. This guy is so stinking cute. So if you've been with the channel, I have been having microphone issues and I finally found a solution. So I've recorded this whole video already and I'm going to do my best to do a voiceover. I did one last week on a short portion and it seemed to work. So here we go. So this is, as I was explaining, one of the incentive stamps for Gina K. It is called Hey Honey, and you pick the stamp set and she has coordinating dies with this particular set that you can purchase. Don't forget to add it to your cart. I'll have a link down below for her website. But each incentive stamp set she provides, like I said, has a set of dies that coordinate with it. So I went ahead and picked those up when I added this to my cart. And I'm just going to show you the dies. And I've got a few that we're going to use today set aside. And like I was saying earlier, this set is just so darn cute. I loved coloring it in. We're going to do some alcohol marker coloring today on this and some stencil work. And we used 2 other stamp sets, or I used 2 different stamp sets with this, and I'll get more into that as the video goes along. Okay, now cardstock. The left is Lemon Drop and the right is Wild Dandelion. I actually, personal preference, really like the one on the right. I think it made the panel pop a little more. So here we go. We've got our cardstock already cut. Oh no, sorry. We are die cutting. So I am going to show you this really cute, this wonderful little hack of cutting out a bunch of little dies together. And it just, if you're doing a process of a lot of die cutting, I find this method works for me. And here, the blue painter's tape. So the sheet of paper, that's actually copier paper, not cardstock. So just regular 20-pound copier paper. Line up your dies, and this is 3-inch painter's tape, and all I'm doing is taping those dies to that copy paper. It's adding a little bit of thickness, but not a whole lot. And right here, I'm just burnishing that tape down to hold those dies in place. And I got a metal ruler and my box cutter, and I'm just going to trim it down here, and I'm going to speed it up real quick here so that you don't have to hear me fumble through. Just be careful not to cut yourself or run into the dies. I did briefly run into one on that one side. So I've got quarter sheets of 110-pound Neenah Classic Crest Solar White. Because we're going to alcohol color these, I wanted a heavier weight cardstock. So this is a quarter sheet of your 8.5 by 11. And as you can see, I've done this to where I can get 2 sets of those dies out of each cutting. So I'm really very verbose with my hands here, I'm noticing. So I've gotten them all cut out and I'm getting ready to show you how easily these pop out. Where did I go? It's really fun watching yourself and trying to narrate this. I don't have a program to transcribe and be able to read it. So now that I did save a couple of these, and to make the stamping easy, I know Gina K's done this, Mary Polanco's done this. It is my new favorite for die cutting and stamping a massive amount of die cutouts. It just makes lining them up super easy in a Misti. And like I said, I just love this. So just quickly trimming a few of the cuts, and then next step, I should have sped this up just a smidge. Sorry about that. So I'm getting rid of my waste, and then we're all done. So it's easy to go ahead and take the dies out of this little contraption that I've invented for these and put them all back where they belong. And we can move on to the next step after I get these put away. Oh, I really do need to transcribe a teleprompter. That's what those things are called. So getting my Misti out, and I'm just gonna get a piece of just regular 80-pound cardstock here in just a moment. Yes, making sure you're in frame. Sorry about the glare there on the left. And I had no idea what I was saying there. I should have left the sound and just listened to it, but I think that would have confused me too much. So this is just regular quarter sheet of 80-pound cardstock, and I'm getting the stamps out that I need for the 2 bees and the honey hive or beehive. That's actually a hornet's nest, but let's just leave that to the beekeepers. So I'm going to go ahead. Oh, I'm getting one prepped for later. That's the little bee flying trail, and getting those secured. I am using Memento Tuxedo black ink because we're going to use alcohol markers, and that's just what I use. I know one of Gina K's inks does work. I just have not utilized it, so I didn't want to test it in the middle of filming. So I'm just doing a little cleanup there, and should be getting ready to get those die cut outlines ready to go. And I start with the mint tape, and then I realize, oh, let's not waste the mint tape on this. I'm taking my time here and really lining this up, and then I speed it up. I didn't want to, I sped things up through this video because I didn't want to waste your time and have you just sit here. So here we go. Now we're really booking. But I used the yellow tape, which is a painter's tape for delicate surfaces. It just holds a little more securely than the minty tape and is a little cheaper roll for roll. So I'm putting my first set of dies in, and we'll get this all inked up. And they kept popping out on me. I don't know why. My fingers might have been sticky because it is warm in my studio. I have a fan going, so I'm hoping you don't hear it in the background. So first impression, this is why I used the Misti. One of the bees was super clear, and then the hive and the other bee required 2 coats of ink just to get it all. And we're going to do one, or I think I did 2 or 3. And then all the die cuts I'll end up setting aside because I didn't want to spend this whole video having you watch me ink up die cuts. So here I am cleaning up after myself and getting things put away. And I'll take those cutouts and I can peel the tape off and slide them into their stamp pocket. So I'm keeping one of the bees because we're going to need that for the inside panel that we're going to do. And peeling this off, and I'll set all this aside, and I put it away after I was done recording when I cleaned up the studio. But I love my Misti. Oh, yes, I had to clean. Oh, what am I doing here? Oh, we're going to go ahead and do the inside panel. Inside panel? What are we doing here? Yes, we are doing the inside panel here. Sorry, I should have written all this out. So wanted to go ahead and get this done, and this is the ink stand. I'm just determining where I want that little bee fly trail. So this is what we're going to recreate. And I just was trying to figure out how I wanted that on the panel up at the upper top. And I'm just using a block because it's one stamp and one and done. I wasn't going to try to get it perfect with the Misti. And then I'm grabbing, I think I wiped that off, I'm grabbing the bee that's going in the correct direction. And I'm trying to line his little tail up with the end of that trail. And it looks like I did a good job there, just looking at the video. And I am using, what is this, Filled with Sunshine mini stamp set. I think this might have been a previous incentive. I'm not 100% sure. I know I don't have dies with it, but I'm using the daisy from that set just to put a couple flowers down in the right hand corner. And I'm using the Wild Dandelion ink. And I don't know why I didn't grab an ink stand. Those are new to me. So using those, it is to the point where I forget. And speaking of forgetting, I stamped off the side of this card. Oh, before we get to that, Memento Tuxedo black marker. I'm just filling in the centers of those daisies just to give them a little more oomph. And there, we're done with that. So I'm going to, I think, cover the ink at this point. Yep, I was bringing it in a little closer. Yep, covering the ink, and I'll peel that panel off. And as you can see, oh, nope. Okay, I'm getting ready to peel that away. I cut a bunch out. And I forgot to clean that grip mat in that Misti. That's going to come back to bite me later. You'll see. So I'm just attaching this inside panel. Oh, and I forgot. Hey, we need to alcohol marker color that bee. So I am grabbing all of my supplies for this. So the mat that I've got there, it's very old. I've had it for 25 years now at least. And you can see it's alcohol marker well loved. It's what I put all of my projects that I'm coloring with alcohol markers. And Ohuhu, I totally am butchering the name of this marker. I picked, I think, 20 set of 24 up from Amazon, and just I've had them a while and I've not really used them, and decided on this project I wanted to. So I went ahead and got my colors that I wanted, although the top color, which is the yellow gray, we're not doing a honey pot, so I didn't really need that color, and we ended up in this part not needing that colorless blender. There you go. Those are the colors I've used. So the Carob Cocoa, Suntan, and Summer Lemon is what I used. So hang on one second. I need a drink of water. Okay, we've got all the bees here, lining them up, because we're going to do all of them. But first, we're going to do the inside panel, and it's just easy peasy, colored in. Since I only have a small collection of these, I really wanted a brighter yellow that more matched. Oh, I made a mistake there and went outside the line, and I had used the colorless blender. And I'm speeding this up because who wants to watch me do a bunch of coloring? I'm forced to watch myself as I edit, but I don't want you all to have to sit there through it. So I've got the 4 bees done, and we'll get started here on the beehive. And for this one, I am using 2 different colors. And the first color is the darker, and oh, remember the dark ring? That's the brush tip. I kept forgetting. So I'm just doing a little bit of shading at the corners and the bottom of each one of the rings. And I start out slow just to kind of show you what I'm doing. And then, speedy colorer I am. Look at that. Look at me go. So this is the darker of the two colors, and everybody has their own way of doing this, light versus dark first. I like to do the dark first. And then for this one, I'm going over the dark and then pulling it into the center. And that is my way of blending. I am by no means a professional artist. This is just how I color to get that kind of effect of the highlight there in the middle to give a little more of dimension and highlights. And I should speed up fairly quickly here. I think, yep, there we go. Speedy Gonzalez. There we go. And as you can see, that highlight in the center is really starting to pop. And I have to say, I think I did a pretty good job with that. Pat myself on the back there. So, moving on to the next, I didn't need the colorless blender except for where I went outside the line. And bringing all the bees back in. I think I only need 2 of the bees. So I actually colored 4 of the bees, but I only needed 2. So we're going to, on the front panel, oh, on the panels, the white section is the master layout 1, smaller rectangle. The black is the larger. And here we're going to do the clouds in the background. And I have 2 different stencils. It was sea, sun, sea, sky, and beautiful backdrops. And I'm just basically alternating as I saw fit. So where did I go? Where's the panel? I should have edited that out. Sorry about that. So here's the master layout 1, smaller rectangle front panel. And I've got a sticky mat that I'm putting it down. It just makes stenciling the front easier. And I'm going to use Blue Sky ink with the standard blending brush from Gina K. Oh, and this. I bought this from Etsy. Whimsical Wishes US. It's 4 inches diameter. And I was having problems finding the brush I wanted, so I bought this little 4-inch Lazy Susan from Amazon. Look at this. This is so cool. That's my greatest $8 that I've spent at Amazon. And for $8 or between $8 and $9, I got 2 of those because I've got a mini blending brush and a standard blending brush stand from this Etsy store. So on this light hand, start out super light and then just add a little pressure. You don't want a lot. And from the video, it doesn't look like there's a whole lot until you peel that away. And even then, it doesn't look like a whole lot. You just want a little hint of clouds in the background. That's all. And between every other, I think, is when I load the brush back up or when I think it's not putting down enough ink. And I just realized, oh, the flowers in the bottom. I have daisies on the original card, and I think I'm going to pick that up here in a minute. Yep, there goes. So I have a little flower tucked in the back, and that is flat on the front cardstock, so we got to get that down before we get the clouds. And this is what stamp set is this? Kindred Spirits. So I'm using the outline and then the stamp to fill in the color from this stamp set. And we're going to use the Memento Tuxedo Black for the outline. And I'm just going to grab blocks. I'm not going to try to peel this up and put it in the Misti because that's just not going to happen in this one. We're going to just quickly, hopefully, cross your fingers and hopefully get the colored stamp lined up with the outline. I'm terrible at that, which is why I love my Misti. So I'm deciding the position I want it, and I'm pressing it, holding it down with letting that ink soak into the cardstock. And so we're done with that. Now I'm gonna say a little prayer, cross my fingers, and I'm gonna use the spot for this because just why risk opening a large ink pad when you only need a small surface? If you're like me, and most of you may not be, I put my hand in the ink pad all the time. It's why I left electrical engineering in college and went to be an accountant. I kept forgetting to connect the ground wire. Bad thing for an electrical engineer. So back to this. I'm got a point where I'm trying to line it up, and oh, yep, do I get it? Do I get it? It was yes, yes. Oh, I was just a smidge off on the right hand side, so we're going to double. Oh, hey, how many gray hairs did you spot? You'll have another opportunity here in a moment. There you go. There's your second opportunity. It ended up turning out pretty well. I've done 2 of these in this whole card making today, where normally I can't line things up to save my life, which is why I love my Misti. This was one of those, and I don't remember the second one off the top of my head. When I see it, I'll point it out. So let's go back to our stenciling. So let's load up that brush and light hand, just a little swirl. I kind of do 4 or 5 rotations one direction, and then I switch the brush direction. And I'm trying to decide how I want this, just to make it look random, rather than having the same cloud 5 different times down the page. Excuse me. And then here, I'm just putting a little blue there at the bottom, avoiding the sunflowers so I don't turn it green. But it's just to take the starkness of the white cardstock out of the picture and let you focus on the elements that are sitting on the card, rather than, wow, that's a really white background. And I'm peeling it up and wiping down. You can see this is a well-loved matte. I do need to replace it because it's not as sticky as what it was when I first got it. But you can see some inks do stain, and I'll put the protective coating back on it and then put it aside. And those stencils I'll clean up later. I'm just gonna wrap them in a microfiber towel so that I don't put them on a project that will ruin it or stick my hand in it or my arm. I'll put that aside and get my Misti back out. And you notice I didn't clean it earlier. And where did I just stick that piece of cardstock? Yes. So, okay, so greens. I've got the jelly bean green in the large pad, and the small one is fresh asparagus. And this pulled that filled with sunshine. There's a branch with a bunch of leaves that I want to hang that honeycomb off of. And we're going to ink up that stamp. And I think I'm going to end up stamping it 3 times with the jelly bean green. Because we've already got ink down on the cardstock, I wanted to make sure that these were very solidly green. And one more, 3rd time's a charm. Now, because this is one ink color, it kind of gives a little bit of a flat. So I'm taking that fresh asparagus and I am just barely kissing that stamp, and I'm angling it on the sides, and just, I'm going to show you here in a minute, it's kind of beaded up a little bit because I don't want solid coverage. I want to give depth with just a touch of color. And I think it worked pretty well, except for right there at the edge. Before I peel that up, I stuck it back down and I went ahead and kissed a bunch there where I know it was going to hit what I originally missed. And there we go. I think I bring that up and show you. Yep, I am. So see how the two-tone color, it just gives a little bit of more depth and dimension there. And here I'm cleaning it up, and here's where I saw the yellow and I thought it was coming from my little towel or my little sponge, but it was actually sitting on the Misti. And here in a minute, I'm gonna realize my mistake, which I made two mistakes. I actually cut that panel with the master layout rectangle, the larger of the two. So getting it prepped, let's put this card together. So there's my black panel, which is the larger of the rectangles. And I wild Dandelion 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4, and burnishing down the fold. Make sure that you fold it toward the bump, toward the mountain. And I'm gluing down the inside panel to its black mat. And those black mats, it's not Gina K cardstock. I have cardstock from a company called Cut Cardstock in Valparaiso, Indiana. And I ordered 500 quarter sheet panels from them. So I am working my way through that. Then I'll start using the Gina K cardstock. And here, oh, not yet. It's coming. And here's where I realized that I didn't clean my Misti and ruined the panel. Plus it was the wrong size. So the white piece I cut from the same rectangle as I did the black. So I went ahead and created a whole new panel after I paused the video because there was no going back from that one. There wasn't a gemstone big enough to cover that mistake. I could have cut it down, no problem at all. But that yellow that was showing through to the front couldn't be covered. Not with what I wanted to do on this card. So I created a new panel. And gluing it down, and we'll get it attached to the card base here in just a moment. Yep, making sure I had the correct panel going on the inside. So how many of you have done that? You've got your inside and your outside panel and you put the wrong panel in the wrong part of the card. That's so devastating. So getting the inside one in, oh, I put the front one on first. My mistake. Like I said, if I'm gonna do voiceovers, I need to transcribe and have it written out rather than doing this fly-by-wire thing. So, okay, so see that daisy? I'd already done this ahead of time. In fact, I did that like a month ago. I did a bunch of flower cutouts and I've already attached the panel, but there's a little hack that I'm sure other crafters have done it. I have never seen it. So I just took one of my rectangle panels. It could be a square, just something that's going to give you that perfect corner. Line it up where you want it. So however much flower you want to appear in that corner is where you're going to put that die. And then I quickly take it over, cut it out, and voila, I'm back. And look what we got. We have a perfectly square die cut. And it's ready to be attached. So this one I am going to pop up in the corner, and I'm still using all of my Stampin' Up! Little foam hexagons. I think it's a hexagon. I have not hundreds, but I have hundreds of little dots. I probably have 8 or 9 more of those little packs. whenever I needed to fill orders when I was a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would always throw those in the cart. So I have a ton of those, and I'm going to use those up before I buy anything more. So I'm just getting it lined up, and it keeps moving on me because the foam thing was stuck to my tweezers. And there we go. Finally got it unstuck. Excuse me. And there you go. See how perfectly it fits in that corner? Now we're going to get the hive glued down, and I am not popping this up. I want this more of a background element so that it looks like the bees are flying to it or sitting on top of the flower. And I'm lining it up so that it looks like it's dropping right off that branch. And I can make sure you get the right bee. So I'm going to put one little foam backing on him and get him, angle him so it looks like he's flying in from the field next door. And this other bee, we're just going to glue it right on top of the flower rather than popping it up. Although I could have put a small one with some glue so it looked like his tail end was sticking off the card. Oh, I should have done that. I still have those bees. I can do the next one like that. But there you go. Now it's the sentiment. I had all these sentiments already pre-cut out. I had done that ahead of time, stamped all the sentiments. And I have these little 3" by 3" baggies, and I throw them in, and I just put them in with the stamp set. So that way, if I need a stamp set in a hurry, it's right there. Or I have a binder of hundreds of sentiments that I've cut out and made over the years. In fact, I need to start doing my Christmas sentiments. But I'm waiting for the July 22nd Gina K release. She's doing a Christmas card kit in July. So I can never get these things straight. So I finally bought a T ruler, and hey, look, surprise, it's straight. Here's the second one where I never get this done and right on the first try. I'm always peeling it off and putting it on. So kudos, I got that one straight. So that's number 2. I knew I'd remember it when I saw it. So here we are, finished card. One on the right was the one I did ahead of time. The one on the left is what we prepared today. And I think they came out very, very well. Just look at that. I just love this. This was such a stinking cute set. So thank you today. I very much appreciate, here, let's get, that way you don't have the glare. I appreciate you stopping by, taking a gander. Thanks for listening through all of my goofy voiceover. I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to my channel, if you would do me the favor, click the subscribe button, click the notifications so you get notified when I post my next video, and do a like for the video. It helps with the algorithms for YouTube. And until next time, happy stamping and have a great rest of your day.